I'll tell you when it says we're live. Darn. It's starting. It's starting. Oh, hey, guess what? We're live, ladies and gentlemen. Yay! I just want to let you know that I have brought some wonderful brats with me. Tantrum's always here because we love that. And there's Blue. And, of course, the famous Dabutch3r. Dabutch3r. Okay, so right now, if you guys have the live chat up, it's just that we don't have anybody in here with us yet, but they suck. It always seems that it takes a few minutes. I did learn, like, the first time, oh, we actually have 12 subscribers on there. There's 12 people live with us. Yeah. Yeah, there's 4 of us times 3. Anyway, no, I found this place called Streamlabs, and they allow you to have the thing. So on the screen right now, it says that there's 12 people here. Hey, my screen's slow. Well, I think that's the 12 of us, I guess. So that's the 4 of us times 3, and then some 2 weird people showed up. Good day, Bittersweet. Okay, so I know our main topic today is NAND scrapers, because whining, but I think really we should start what's happening with the URL resolver right now. Oh. Well, then I think in the meantime what we should do is just get Blue to do some nude shots on here. Yeah. No, we wanted the bikini shots. Yo, Excerpt. Wait a minute. Who invited Excerpt? Yeah. Bad enough he joins us in the chat channel. Hey. So Fred wants to know what is a good free IPTV with a TV guide. Well, Okay, guys, hang on a second. I know what I forgot. I forgot to turn the audio on for you guys. Hang on a second. Okay, yeah, guys. You guys in the crowd out there, I'm sorry. I know you guys can see the butcher and all that. I'm going to fix that just right now. Hang on. We're applying that. Let's see if that makes a difference. Nope. Hang on. Yeah, I knew I forgot something. You know. Apply. Okay. Freer's turned off and you guys. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, guys, I'll be right back. We're just gonna pause out the live, come right back. Sorry. Alright.
In case everybody missed it, Teverz agreed to get oiled up for us today.
Okay, guys, sorry about the audio. You should be able to hear these guys now.
Check. 1, 2, 3.
Darn, they can hear you now.
Yeah, Griff is going to be upset about that.
Griff. He got offered. He just said something about having to wait for the wife to go to bed.
Yeah. If he wants in, I'd let him in.
Oh, no. God, don't do it. Don't do it.
Not Griff.
Not if you want your... actually understand what we're saying. That crazy Scottish bastard.
Drinking some iron brew.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with drinking. Just saying.
Okay, so what we were saying about, they asked about the free IPTV, and my thought is there's no free IPTV that's worth much at all. It's choppy at best. Made in Canada is probably your best bet. No TV guide with that. Maverick does a good job, and I don't even know if Pyramid offers it. Those are the ones off the top of my head that offer a decent IPTV that I've seen. I don't know what you guys see.
Yeah, Pyramid has theirs. I've got that one linked up in my build menu. I don't know it. I haven't tried it lately myself, but when I last tried Pyramids, theirs was pretty decent. That's why I included it as far as a link directly on the menu. So,
none of them have a TV guide that I've seen.
Yeah,
unless you make your own, which you could use the Renegade TV guide, and then I don't know. He used to have the plugins where you could do it, but I don't know, it's just so much work.
Do you remember Echo? Do you remember Echo's guide and had the I creator in it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Cerebro's got the same thing now, and what I have to give him credit. I know I did a review on that, but you know, he came back. I did the review, and I was just using the stuff he recommended. But he told me that I could go in and I other add-ons, and it did, and it actually works, and it adds it right in. So,
I haven't played with that one, so I might have to look into that one.
Yeah. He was again, I had to remind him how to build the repo so that it didn't look like a whole pile of crappy stuff was being added, but he fixed it. It looks good now.
Well, I'll have to look at that. Last time I looked, it looks like he's taking about everything out there that's popular and just rebranding it, throwing it in his. That's something that Blammo and me were discussing the other night, because he's done a lot of strides in getting better and trying to get trust back. And nothing against the guy at all. But I think it was, and I'm going to check here real quick. He's recently done a, Cerebro Strictly HD, where he's redone Strictly HD, which I know Spins took over from Lucifer.
Yeah, I wondered about that because I knew that Spins took it over, or was given it. He was given it, from what they said, and then I saw it in Cerebro, and I was wondering to myself, did Spins drop it, or so he just basically took it and forked it and rebranded.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get a little bit of everything in his, which I understand. That's fine, but there's different ways of doing it. I mean, he could have done something as far as within a single add-on for a lot of the stuff, including the HD.
Yeah,
that's just,
sorry, Gold Rush had a question about, is there any video tutorials on how to make an add-on? All I'm thinking is Todd's here.
There's like a couple that we've made on how to make a gen, and that was the idea when Mid was first talking about when we did the update to Bob Unleashed, and there was the talk of that you always have these problems of everybody copying and pasting, and everybody gets on Twitter and cries like a big baby when someone copy and pastes their work. So Mid says, you know what? Why worry about someone forking it? I'll just create a template and make it as easy as possible for people to make their own. And that was where the idea started, and he started to take it. And now we made it as simple as possible. You don't have to be
there's literally only 4 different files you need to change in order to get a fully functioning add-on.
yeah.
Right. And I mean, we've even showed how to do, I did the last one was on Pastebin, how to host it on Pastebin for free.
Yeah.
And honestly, there has been some backlash from real developers that kind of get upset because they think that
there's too many people having add-ons now.
Too
you know what? That's better in the long run. It's better to have a whole bunch of people. It goes down.
Yeah.
So I brought up your page on the screen here, Butcher.
Yeah.
So, you know, just for you, Gold Rush, you want Dabutch3r's builds, right? You're gonna find in here. There's a gen template and how to make the XMLs, bud. Go to his YouTube, subscribe, and then you'll get the info.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, a lot of my videos are not, I try to teach people stuff, and I was actually looking at Tantrum's video, web page too, and he has a lot of the same things. And to be honest, what's funny is the guys that are in YouTube that are trying to help you learn stuff, that are trying to teach you stuff, if you look at their views, are piss poor. But if you go to these people that aren't really showing you nothing, they're just showing you one big flashy add-on with it. Yeah, they show you a bunch of clicky shit. You will see they've got tens of thousands of views on every single video, but they're basically not really teaching you nothing. They're jumping from add-on to add-on or clickbait to clickbait, not teaching you nothing. The people that try to teach you stuff, we get just a handful of views, but most of us aren't doing it for the clicks or the money. We don't care. We just hope that people learn.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that part is that there's some of them out there, and I'm not going to throw names out today. I'm going to try to anyway. There's a few of them that do try to help. That their videos are usually centered greatly around helping, but it never fails. It's like once a day almost. They'll do like 2 or 3 videos, and at least one of them is giving completely wrong information.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I'm not going to mention any names, but it happens more and more to the other guys that genuinely at least used to.
Do you find that too? Yeah, even in chat groups and stuff, you'll see that a lot, where somebody will ask a question and people will answer it, and you're like, no, that's not right. Sorry, but
where did you get that? And they're like, well, this YouTube channel. It's like, oh God, no.
So there's
like, a YouTube video, and I'm like, yeah, but I give you the right information.
Yeah.
Our Gold Rush is also saying something about abandoned add-ons. I wouldn't. To me, if I was trying to learn or trying to help, I would not take an abandoned add-on, because how do you know how it all works? You need to start simple, and that was one of the reasons why with Gen it's dead simple. You can make it more difficult.
And technically, there's still a dev looking after it.
Yeah. And there's people that are submitting plugins, and the idea is to make it as simple as possible. You don't have to be a coder. You don't have to have a whole bunch of experience. And, you can, really it took me longer to figure out my name of my add-on and the icons than to create.
That takes the longest. Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True. Finding good art.
That was the hardest part.
I think Mid said he was just the simple, original people were using simple Corey base, and so he wanted to write something a little simpler.
Hi, Wayne Anderson. Just,
And it's true with the plugins. If there's something in it you really, really want, but it's not, it doesn't work in Gen, then you can now just write a plugin for it and literally plug it in.
So that means we can do adult add-ons now with Gen?
Oh God, yeah.
Some do.
Yeah.
Monkey Spank.
I think isn't A-Trains a Gen?
Yeah, Monkey Spank's a Gen, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I haven't even looked at the code on it yet, so I didn't know.
It's basically Bob, second Bob Unleashed. But he bare boned it, and then he kind of decided to build it back up again with a lot.
And now it actually has more than Bob has sometimes when you look at.
Well, Bob is now technically a Gen.
Yeah.
Instead of maintaining 2 add-ons, you know.
I know you all had some trouble with Unleashed when you moved to a new host. I remember I sat there trying this back when I was using it quite a bit, and I go to something that wouldn't work, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was.
We've been through a lot of last year.
Yeah, since the beginning, actually from the beginning, it didn't take long before we started having issues with bandwidth and simultaneous connections. The simultaneous connections
It got you
hurt us. It got that and they were looking at how many hits per minute that we were getting, and it was too much. And it's went through some stuff, but live and learn.
And just curious because I'm one of those devs that I don't use templates unless it's one that I've written out for my own stuff.
Yeah.
Does Gen have caching built into it for it?
Yes.
Deeper's like, yes. That's one thing I was curious about. So
Yeah, it's not called Cache DB, it's called Database DB, but it's there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that has when we actually did a lot of work with that when with Bob with Unleashed we were really working with the cache, trying to alleviate alleviating the pressure off of the servers basically. So you were only looking at it a list once every so often, depending on what we set the cache at, so that every time you hit a list, you didn't hit it, it would like hold it a little bit. And that helped.
And what we did was everybody cached their lists individually.
Mm-hmm.
So ones that were more like you updated more often were a little less, and ones that you never updated, you'd make it like it would only cache once every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
it makes sense on it.
Go Rush has got another question there for you, Dabutch3r. Raw Python or Scratch?
Oh, I'm not a coder, so that's beyond my. I know that's beyond me. I know that all the stuff that I know is all in Python that I know of.
Yeah, me too.
But Blue actually knows more coding because she's actually started to move into wanting to learn more of that stuff with scrapers and helping with mid and doing that kind of stuff.
No, I'm still an idiot.
So I'm like first grade.
Well, at least I'll admit I'm an idiot.
She's like 5th grade. I'm like first grade.
I find my problem is I like to say I don't have the time. That's not the case. I find I'm just pulled in too many directions. So I'll be doing one thing, and then somebody will say, "Oh my God, can you help me fix this?" And I'll go off to that, and then I'll forget where I was, and I don't know. I'm just having trouble retaining.
Yep, I know that feeling, but it's because I go squirrel mode too much.
To me, I also think that with a lot of us that help and try to do stuff, that we don't want to tell people no, and you feel like they need you because they have no other recourse, so they're coming to you, and they come to you one-on-one and say, "Can you help me with this?" So it's hard to walk away and say, "Well, go look it up," or "Hey, go search somewhere else." So you feel like you're kind of obligated in a way, and your hope. I know for me, whenever I help somebody, my hope is that I help them a little bit, and that they learn it, and then maybe they help somebody else. And that we've seen that in the Gen chat room. We've seen where some of the new people that came in early on are now helping the brand new people that come in.
That's awesome.
It's not there ain't but so many of us that been there that can keep showing the same thing over and over, how to make an XML.
Yeah.
Read the F and read B.
See, you know what I love. You know what I love about Blamo. So you get somebody to come into his chat room to ask for help, and of course, if he's in his mood, he tells them to f off, and he does it really in a wonderful way. And then 2 seconds later, he's helping them.
Yeah.
But
that's a great thing about that chat room. I mean, it's full of people that knows, and
Yeah,
a lot of people that are coming there. It never fails. You'll see someone come there that doesn't use the add-on yet, or any of the add-ons in the repo yet, and then the next thing you know, they're using just about all of them.
Yeah. Okay, so pausing everybody for a minute, even though I love hearing Blue's voice because that just gets me all excited. But I do think we should get into talking about the URL resolver now.
Yeah.
And
enough people?
Yeah, we got 20. You got to remember, I honestly, on the last show that Tantrum and I did, we had almost 1,000 views like afterwards. So whatever we're going to talk about, people are going to watch. And you know.
I was just going to say that, actually. I think Todd finds it the same, too. You know, you'll have like 40 people watching, and then you'll get thousands of views after.
So, who wants to start on the URL and the fun, the excitement this morning?
Oh, I can. Yay.
Yeah, you guys go ahead.
We, of course, you know, they pushed last night sometime an update for URL Resolver 4.0.17, and of course, Twitter blew up with all kinds of mixed emotions. But this morning, we were getting reports in the chat of nothing real to Brid working. It would skip through all of them. And so I threw a tweet out just to give people a heads up, you know, that's being seen. We're looking into it. And I was able to reproduce it. I updated mine. And sure enough, real to Brid, I had to reauthorize it. That happens almost every time there's an update to URL Resolver, no big deal. But none of the RD links would work. And so I kept looking into it, and I just went into 2 of the add-ons I had tried and cleared the cache and providers from the tools menu in them add-ons. Didn't back out, went straight back to the menus, straight back to the shows. Tried again, and it worked. There was some that were dead links for me, or didn't work.
Yeah, that's normal anyway, though, I think.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's the beauty of scrapers. They scrape. They don't care whether it works or not. After that, RD was working. I went in, tried 2 or 3 movies. They all worked. Aside from
okay.
Dead links.
Ask a quick question then. Okay, so originally what you did was you reauthorized, then removed stuff you needed to remove, and then went back in?
Yep.
So did you even need to reauthorize, or if you had cleared those and just gone straight back in, do you think it
No,
would have been fine?
did. No RD links were showing up at all until I reauthorized.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I tried cleaning the cache first, Blue. I had to reauthorize as well.
Okay. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to grab a coffee.
Oh, get us one too. And
don't say anything bad about me while I'm gone.
And get Todd a beer.
I went and got one while Tantrum was talking.
I'm alcoholic.
He's like, I've already seen this conversation. I didn't need to hear this.
Yeah.
Now I will say, and Butcher, y'all definitely step in, that there has been trends already noticed as far as certain ones, and this could just be dead links. We just have to look into it. Certain hosts may not work on RD with it, but as far as like open load, so if you notice that, just let us know. I mean, it's, you know, we're going to look into it ourselves, see if it's a trend or just dead links, because dead links are always possible.
Yeah, because like you said, when and I tried to explain, what was one of my shows where I explained when a scraper works, it's just scraping through and it just grabs the links that are on that page, and it grabs. It doesn't check them, and it just grabs them, and so some of those may be broke from the website that was scraped from. So that does happen. Or there can be the issue where the URL resolver doesn't actually take you to the destination correctly. That's also an issue, and I think that it concerns me. I'll be honest, right? This isn't my show, so I can actually speak my mind, because I try to be very politically correct on my show. I try not to take sides, but I'm not a fan of TVA, and I'm not a fan of URL resolver being there. I think that TVA is here for one reason, and
Exactly.
And so I'm not a fan of it being there. I think that they hype themselves a lot. I think that Adam and is in it for one reason, and I'm not a fan of it being there. And it was funny how Jay Sergio was updating URL Resolver, every week, twice a week, maybe every 2 weeks. It was, and we've went how long without an update? So makes me wonder how many of those links are not working due to the URL Resolver. And does anybody want to get in bed with TVA? Because anybody that gets in bed with TVA seems to get, or rumor is that they get a cease and desist letter. If that's true or not true, but that seems to be the trend. My opinion is that I wish, and actually Nan looked at and has worked on and kind of abandoned it, creating their own resolver. But the problem is that we're spread too thin, and you need to get enough good people to help. And I think that another group, and it doesn't even have to be Nan, but I think another group needs to come up with a resolver and not rely and feel like you need to be part of the most important part of Cody, and tied to somebody that seems to be bad things always happen to that group. So I don't know. I think my opinion is someone needs to step up or get a group of doing something different.
So
Team Afterbirth. Oh, just saying.
Roger's got a question for us, and I've seen this myself too, like where it happens. But sometimes when the source is marked as ID, you know how you click on open load, it'll pop up the pairing thing. Anybody got an answer to that? Nobody got an answer.
It pops up the.
Yeah, it's marked as real to bride. Like open load, for example, right? It's marked as real to bride, but when you go to click on it, you know that pop up for pairing? It still comes up on sometimes. But
most of the time I hit cancel and it still plays the link.
Exactly.
If I have real Dabutch3r enabled, it's still it skipped on past it. Then I don't know if that's a URL resolver or issue, or it could be the scraper. I don't know if it's the scraper written.
If it's giving it as a open load pairing, that tells me it's going to be URL resolver. So at least to me, my thought process, and I tend to look at things a little bit differently than other people. So
yeah, but we're a little bit more privileged because we understand how the process works, right? Click here, takes us to here, takes us to here. It could be somewhere down the road that's the problem, not the add-on. So
yeah, and I mean I know Python I'm still learning. But I've coded in years for PHP, for C#, C++, hell, Pascal. I mean, I go way back in software development. So Python's just a new language to me.
Yeah. So
that gives me a unique view of everything that I try out.
Well, and the one good thing too about Cody is that it's like it's more specific in that there's only you're going to use obviously basic Python and everything, but there's all of the stuff you're calling is is Cody specific stuff.
Yeah,
I think you'll pick it up fast if you already have a background in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's, believe it or not, I wasn't even in any shape or form part of anything Cody until October.
Oh, I'm a web developer, so I know Python, but I hate writing it. I like reading it though. Although I can Tantrum and I can both. We look at speed tests from our new. That thing is a friggin' roadmap.
Well, it's because Python was not meant to be obfuscated, and they did everything they could to do that. So that's the reason it's not a roadmap. It's Apple Maps.
But I can fix code. I can go in and find it and fix it, but I don't want to write it anymore.
I gotta say, this geek talk is turning me on a little bit.
Oh. Where's the boobs? Where's the boobs? Todd promised us boobs. He lied.
Well, I don't have a lot.
So what do you think? We've covered the URL. Like the other big topic we really wanted to talk today about is NAND scrapers. Because personally, I get really irritated constantly having to teach people how NANDs, why NANDs. Oh, this uses NAND. It doesn't work. No, that's not true.
It's the thing with NAND is it got a bad rap because a couple YouTubers out there said, "Oh, it's breaking RD. Don't use it. It's a piece of shit."
That was funny, actually.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, I've done videos. I know Teverz, you've done videos on it, and I've had some people ask me when I'm going to do a new one just because since there was an update. But yeah, I mean, NAN works, plain and simple.
It's just NAN doesn't have a ton of RD scrapers.
Yeah, exactly. And now the only thing, and I know I mentioned this, I think to you, Butcher, was one thing that needs to be looked at. And I just haven't had time to look into it to give more feedback. Is where it's like some of the workers just aren't finished yet when you go into it, and it displays the results. And but if you go right back into it, you know, back out, click on the movie or show again, and it goes back into it and it scrapes for like 2 seconds, and it pulls the cache. It shows everything.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it's definitely pulling them.
I heard you're going to help with that. Did I hear that right?
I did.
Well, yeah, it's just I haven't had enough time to look.
He's got too many projects.
Yeah, you know, I help with death streams. I haven't looked at death streams RD yet, but I try to help blame on death streams RD, but Salts is just way out there for me at the moment. I help on Neptune Rising, Placenta, Sports Hub.
Yeah, you sound like mids all over the place.
Yeah, plus I've got 4 builds, so you know. It's definitely something that'll get looked into. But you know, that's neither here nor there because NAN works. I mean, I know, you know, there's been a lot of grief you guys have caught for it, and it's misinformation is what it is. And once again, some jackass opens his mouth when he doesn't know what he's talking about. Because I use NAN scrapers on my own, like I have a gen. I watch all day long, and I use NAN scrapers. I'm always able to find something, and it's always HD. Yep.
And so shut up about it. You don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing wrong with it.
And here's the thing: you don't need 5,000 links to watch.
Exactly. You need one that works.
Yeah, you just need one link that works.
See that I was going to say that in the defense to the RD with NAN, you don't need a ton of scrapers. Heck, I just need one RD link. That's it, because that almost always works.
To be honest, I don't need. On my box right now, I have RD. I haven't bothered authorizing it because there's a crap load of 1080 and 720 without it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and there is in all defense. When we created, or when Mid created the scrapers, the NAN scrapers, he was having to learn, and he didn't want to use the Exodus template that was basically because we were told we couldn't use those. So so we had to create our own, and he went through it, and he'll be the first one to tell you, is it perfect? No. Could there be improvements in some of his coding structure or stuff? He's like, yeah, there can be some fixes to that.
And you know what? If you spot something, let us know, and we'll fix it.
And that's the thing about with some people, they have to be right, and they have to act like they know everything. And one of the things with a lot of the people in our group, if you come up and say, hey, this isn't working, but I see it's not working because of this, this, and this, everyone in our group is like, really? You found that issue? Well, we're going to go ahead and fix that. Nobody in our group has that God complex where nobody can speak to you.
Okay, pausing you, Butcher. I know you love to talk.
Yeah. No, I'm going.
A-Train is with us.
Uh-oh.
I'm still drunk.
Butcher's trying to catch up.
Yeah, he is trying to catch you.
I'm trying. Working.
I was gonna say, were you at Todd's house? Because he started drinking at 7 this morning. So.
I just woke up. It was terrible. I was naughty last night.
Yeah, it's nothing like shooting a message thinking, oh, well, they're gonna be in bed, and then like 2 minutes later, I get a response back, oh my God, you're awake.
I know. I saw him online last night. I was like, thank God you're online. I am so bored right now.
So somebody asked me about. Sorry, I'm A-Train. I love you, but somebody said I got no RD because I haven't had to. Because I see. Never mind. That wasn't a question. Good for you, Den One Ball.
Yeah, some people, depending on where you're located at, and your ISP and all that, they never need RD because it just the links flat out work, whether it's NAN, whether it's a Covenant or Exodus fork or anything like that. Some people are lucky like that. My ISP is garbage, and I have to have RD.
Well, and you know one thing that I noticed too is that like in the normal links in the normal 1080 and 720, the audio isn't as good as it is in RD. Like in RD, you see a shitload of 5.1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it's really good for that in itself too. Like.
See, I'm going to tell you my setup in my house. I have to make everything one click as possible because I have a wife who says make it simple or get the fuck out.
Well, and here's the nice thing about it. Most of the add-ons out there, I know you see these videos where, and this is another YouTube bash, that are like, oh, this add-on's great because it's one click. Well, dude, go into the settings. You know, you can always reset your settings to default in any add-on. Go into your add-ons and look. Most of them have one-click play options.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you know, that's the great thing about it.
I'm personally not a fan of the one-clicks.
No, me neither. I want to pick my link. Yeah.
Exactly. I know what links work for me, and I'd rather not have to spend 20 hours going through and adjusting whatever add-on or scraper it is to filter out, you know, any that just don't work as good for me.
You know, I think people got a little bit spoiled back a long time ago, which you wouldn't remember because you're such a newbie. A lot of add-ons, a lot of like one-site add-ons came on. Mucky had a crap load of them, and basically they only had one link per, and so it started right away, and it was HD. But they weren't.
PrimeWire had one of them. I remember that one.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like people got used to that, and then when it was like, oh my God, now it's not working the same. Actually, it's better nowadays because now you're getting a choice from 1 million websites and 1 million links, and if that one doesn't work, you hit the next one. Where on that, back then, if you clicked it and it didn't work, there was no other option. There weren't any other links to click. Yeah. You just couldn't watch that show happen.
Yeah, exactly. And the sad part is several of them add-ons still work today.
Yeah.
One channel, if I'm not mistaken, one channel still works, and so does Yes Movies.
Yes Movies.
That was a conversation that Metal and I had, Metal Kettle and I had. It's been a few months back, and he was talking about that a lot of the older developers not knowing where they fit in anymore because all those guys were making one-site add-ons, and he says Exodus or Genesis really killed a lot of those because why rely on one website when Genesis was offering all these sites, or Salts was offering all these sites? And he said that in the back, you know, before you had Yes Movies, which was looking just at one website, or you know, all these add-ons that we're looking at one, and it's a progression of things. It's good in one way and it's bad in another. It's good that you have more choice in one add-on, but you also are directing more traffic through one add-on, whereas it used to be.
Well, then another huge difference though between back then and now is there are way more users now than there were back then.
True.
Oh yeah.
You know? Back then there was like, you know, 1,000 people using Yes Movies and 1,000 people. Now there's millions of people.
Yeah. Yep.
And all those most of those add-ons, if people knew about them nowadays, would be dead. Would be dead like that, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely. It's like, so the times have changed, yes. Things have advanced because they've had to, because now it's like oversaturated.
You know, that gives me a thought, and Teverz will tell you it's a bad idea when I start thinking.
Yeah, I gotta work harder.
It usually means my work's going to go through the roof, but it makes me think geolocation for scrapers and sources.
Actually, I had a friend talk about that a while back. That's a fantastic idea.
I mean, yeah, I mean, just and here's the great thing. That wouldn't be something that everybody's setup would have to do. You know, each domain, you know, you already know where it's at, and that's something that can be cached. But to help, you know, so as you use an add-on, it speeds up over time. But yeah, I mean, let's face it, you know, the closer you are to a host, the better. And something like that could be looked into as well to help with that, because it would limit who's using what a little bit more.
Well, and yeah,
still
instead of
getting
everybody using that one top link that's located wherever, everybody would be split off into their regions, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
you're going to get it's going to give them better sources, and plus help the host better, or help the host more as far as by reducing the amount of stress put on their servers.
Guess you're going to have to get off here and get on that then. What are you doing?
Man.
Quit slacking.
This is why I don't like thoughts, all right?
What you don't want is a straight connection to Blue. She'll get your buns in gear.
Hey, I'm good at organizing crap, and that's about it.
Yeah, I used to do project management at work, and it unfortunately it's seeped into my private life. I did Ultima Online emulators, and so I did it there. That was all in C++, and did a lot of great work with some great guys there. Matter of fact, that's where I found my love for midget Asian hookers. Then I don't know. It's just project management. I love doing it, but at the same time, I hate it. It's one of them things. So if I can throw work your way, Blue, I might.
How about the midgets?
Yeah,
No.
I am a midget. I think you guys, Todd might be the only one that knows that I'm very short.
Oh,
But I'm
well,
not Asian.
Well, the next question: are you Asian?
No, I'm not. Sorry about that. Guess I'm out.
But she does look good in a dominatrix outfit, though.
Oh well, there we go.
That's true.
That's all I need.
And just to let you know, Blue, my wife's only 5'1" too, so.
Oh, geez. She's actually shorter than me. Woo-hoo!
Yeah.
I'm 5'2".
Yeah, I get her to dress up in a geisha outfit every once in a while just for my little fantasies, but yeah.
Oh, that is cute. I dressed up as that for Halloween once.
Oh, and where's the picture?
Nice try there. Nice try.
Yeah, pictures or it didn't happen.
Yeah, buggers.
So Roger thinks Blue is a Canadian.
Hey.
Yeah, it says.
It sounds Canadian. Yep.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I'll mess you up.
Can't help it. It's a question. That's a question at the end of a sentence, eh?
That's just like whenever I say y'all, you're like, oh, where are you from, the South? Can't help it.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
rolls off my
Y'all
tongue.
and ma'am.
Come on, y'all.
So my uncle lives in, well, he's passed away now, but he lived in Front Royal, Virginia, and I'd go spend a few weeks every summer down at my uncle's place. By the time I get back up here, I'd be going y'all as well too. So
You know what? I actually, when I went down south there, I was the same. You can't help but mimic it.
Yep.
Like, I think it's kind of fun, actually. What y'all doing today? Eh? Y'all.
Y'all.
Yes, ma'am.
There's another one too. What was it? Something like get over here, but it's. Oh, I wish I could remember. That and a crossed instead of a cross. A crossed with a T.
You mean
Heading
that's
across
when
the street.
yeah, when it's laying across my chest?
Blue has duck's disease. Her ass is close to the ground.
Oh my God, friggin' Andy.
Yeah, Gandalf. Gandalf will get you.
Hello, bastard.
It was
Am I allowed
good.
to say bastard, by the way?
It's just that he's jumped in the Gen chat right. One of the early guys creating in when I talked about people helping each other.
Talking about Gandalf?
Yeah, he's one of those people that helped numerous people and
Yeah.
created a gen and wanted to help other people, and it was really neat because I remember when he was a builder.
Yeah.
When I joined Total Revolution,
One of the first.
before the Noobs and Nerds, Total Revolution had joined it, and he had his builds, and I thought it was so cool. He had an intro. I was like, nobody has an intro but his build, and I wanted to do that. And he went silent, and then he came back with Jen and joined that chat, and it's just so neat to see some of these people that they went to the sidelines, but they weren't ever really gone. And now, you start to see them at a different time.
Yeah. I've been finding that too. A lot of older people coming back.
Sorry, what was the fix for URL resolver again? Reauthorize, then what? And then what? Reauthorize, then delete.
Clean out your cache. And each of the add-ons that you use it with, clean out your cache.
Just the cache, just straight up like.
Yeah. You know, go into, you know, desk streams, and, you know, it says remove cache, and yeah, and reset the providers too. I didn't have to do that, but Tantrum did that, and he said it worked as well. So
I'm just passing this along.
yay! I gotta let you guys know, we do have to end the show at 1 o'clock today. I normally would go on a bit longer because I know you guys love to rant and all, but I have somewhere I have to be at 1:30. So does my wizard clear cache on startup? Well, if you turn it on, it does, but if you don't, I did.
That's a legitimate question.
Yeah, most of it. So just to let you know, Roger, like my wizard is based, it's the Aftermath wizard, so most of the engine is still there. There has been some minor fixes because the RD wasn't working that good, but the cache, when you get that pop-up when you first install, you have that choice right on the bottom to turn it on or turn it off. If you didn't turn it on, then go into the settings and turn it on again.
I will say that Tantrum, I was watching through some of his videos, and he showed how to optimize NAND. And I thought that was a good video because he's talking about there's certain scrapers that are better for him or not so good for him.
Yep.
He went and turned off some of those, which made his scrape quicker, but also gave him better links for him. And so doing a little bit of work to find out what works for him. Now, not to say that that link would not work. That link could very well work for somebody in the UK.
Yep.
But not work for someone in the U.S. And so he found what worked for him and unchecked and turned off certain scrapers. And I thought that was a good video because even though it says 73 scrapers, you don't need 73 scrapers. When we create that, it's because we're thinking worldwide. I mean, so we have to think about what's working here and what's working.
Some break.
And some break. So I thought that was a good idea that it can sometimes help you with your being frustrated, and just have the scrapers that work well for you. When you look for, if you look for Streamago, and you're like, I'm always looking for Streamago. Well, if that's one, then turn off the other ones and leave Streamago on. If you like a certain
that's a resolver, though, is it not? Not a scraper? That's, that's like
finish link. Yeah. Well, but the point is that I think that video was good at showing you that you can do some modifications.
But yeah, like I know what you mean though. Grab the sites that work for you. A lot of the direct link ones, like not direct link, but direct. What do you call those? You know, the ones that we're pulling from instead of a scraper site, somebody's archive.
Index.
Yeah, an index. Thanks. We pulled the whole pile of those to be buffered like bastards.
They'll work for a while, but when you start hitting 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 people hitting it.
Yeah.
It doesn't do so well. That server wasn't designed for the traffic that we send its way.
Pausing, you guys. Bro science, I'm a Canuck, and my bacon is long and skinny, not round. And the only mounted police I see around here are somebody on their, husky dog about to go off for a sled ride. And just to let you know, by the way, Butcher, like, I don't know if you watched my video as well. I haste HD. Okay, I have one ISP provider. It works here. My absolute next door neighbor has a different ISP. Haste HD does not work on his at all, but it works on mine.
It almost never works for me. Almost never. I ignore it every time I see it up there. But that is weird because it just depends on the person and your location and
exactly.
Like you said,
ISP, yeah.
Yep.
Now I'll ask a question, and this is did you do a video? Did either one of you guys do a video on YouTube fixing the API?
I don't remember if I did.
Was that exceeding the limits?
Oh, you mean for
YouTube? I'm sorry,
Alec.
No, for YouTube, because it's got that. I thought I've seen one of you guys had a thing about.
Oh well, yeah. I've done a short video on it because I've actually added a manual patch to my wizard.
Yep.
And also several of my YouTube add-ons. I've added manual patch, each one with its own unique API key.
Yeah, I took his scripting and put it into my wizard now too, so with my unique IP too.
Yep. And the nice thing is, and this is just a heads up for anybody, for you guys and anybody else out there, YouTube developer on Team Cody has a beta out. I've tried it out. It's freaking awesome. A lot of the hacks I've had to do in scripts in the past, they've addressed, and they've built it into the plugin. But developers here on the next release of the official YouTube plugin are going to be able to pass their own API key directly to the plugin, so that they can link to it that way and use their API instead of having to do the fixes like we've been doing.
Uh-oh. Gen update.
Hey, but a very good reason to update.
Good point.
Yeah, that's worthwhile because, I mean, even for me, I see that YouTube exceeding the limit, blah, blah, blah.
I don't use YouTube a lot, so.
Well, but I see it in my build because YouTube is a plugin. It's an add-on that's installed, so you'll see it as soon as my build pops up. If it's need for me.
Yeah. Some add-ons have their own YouTube API stuff built in. Some don't. So it's like my YouTube add-ons, and what I did in Placenta, I didn't go ahead and use a different API because I know the plugin works, and so that's something I'm definitely waiting on. That way the fixes aren't going to be needed there unless you're using an older version. So, but yeah, it's definitely something that's going to be nice once it comes out. It'll eliminate a lot of issues for a lot of people. Well, at least once the developers update for it.
Oh, I like that. I didn't even know that. Thanks for that, bud.
Yep. Did you know there's an official repo for the YouTube add-on, for the YouTube plugin?
Oh, that's in the Kodi one.
Yeah. Well, there's actually a separate repo just for the YouTube plugin.
Okay.
They put the official update in.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna have to post it on Twitter or something for us.
Yeah, that's the one that I always use anymore, just because I know it's going to be legit, regardless.
What Roger asked about how much content comes from Kodi actually from YouTube. There's not a lot of content, but when you go into trailers, and a lot of add-ons link to YouTube, and it's a dependency.
Yep.
And so that's where you're not necessarily watching a movie from YouTube, but there is quite a bit of add-ons that link into YouTube.
Yeah, a lot of them have links that basically will bring up an entire channel of YouTube. Like I know that in Bob Kara had stuff for doing your makeup or doing your hair or stuff like that.
A lot of fitness was linked to there.
A lot of fitness, yeah.
Yep, I've got a Fitness Zone add-on, one called Kids Nation, and one called Legends that are all solely YouTube content.
Yeah.
It's in the same back end that I made my tutorials for YouTube add-ons for, and I actually added them all into Placenta, built it into Placenta.
Hey, Tantrum.
Yeah.
Get a pen. You got to write down JJ Cale, Cale. 2015, he died. And if you want to do research on it, people like Leonard Skinner stole his music.
Okay, well, there's the Legends add-on, the way it worked, or the way it's being built, I guess you could say, the content for it. And this is something that, A-Train's tried to help me on. Of course, she's like us. She's just buried in projects. I've got a site that I go through that lists every single person involved in the music industry that passes away by year. And I go through it and I find the ones that can be considered legends. I do research on each individual. If they're in that add-on, it's because they had a big mark on the industry, and or a big impact on the industry, and that's why you see some names you may never have heard of on there. And I do what I can on it, but it just takes me forever to get the updates to it because I'm going through it and I'm not creating playlists for the album bits section, but I still have to process it, pull the links, things like that, and then I build manually the playlist for live performances if I can find many, and the documentary style section. So it's a pretty neat little add-on, but I mean, just aside from that, the YouTube content out there has really grown, actually, since October. I've seen a lot more YouTube add-ons come out, and I've seen a lot of them die off, too. But the nice thing about them is the content in them, unless somebody deletes a video, it's guaranteed to work.
Very cool.
And the server can handle it.
Yeah, exactly. My wonder is, and I haven't looked into it, is YouTube Red support. Has anybody out there really done anything with that? Because there's a lot of good stuff if you pay for YouTube Red.
I don't think I've ever actually researched Red yet, so.
I haven't, except for when they spam the crap out of me when I go to the site.
Yeah, good point. Just trying to catch up on some of these. Integration to work, well, not always a big thought in some add-ons. Thanks to you. I hear you. Jen will allow you to do your track. The thing I don't like about the Gen version of Track is if you watch a show, it doesn't mark it as red. Like, watch.
Oh, I've got your fix for that, Teverz.
Oh, do you?
The actual Team Cody tracked add-on will do it in the background. That's what I use.
Oh, so change the PI or the PY file to the Kodi one?
Oh, no. I just installed the actual tracked plugin.
Yeah.
And the one that always comes up when you first launch Kodi and says "remind me later" or "no thanks" to off it.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you add that as a dependency to pull?
I would think you could. I mean, it's a regular add-on, so I mean, I don't see why not.
The trusted Kodi one, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I always, on every device I set up, I always set it up because if it doesn't, for whatever reason, get marked, I can always right-click and mark as watched, and it marks it as watched and tracked. So that's why I use that add-on on top of everything.
Well, no, and for every other add-on, I've got Track. I got that one installed, but I was looking at Oculus. I'm trying to help Trademark to get the Track to work better in there.
Look at that. Working with Trademark's always fun.
No, oh, trust me, I know. Anyway,
hey, did he tell you that I booted him from Gen twice already? He's on his third round.
I'm the good cop in this whole thing. I'm the nice guy. Then she boots people, and guess who they call? Me. Like, Butch, why can't I get back in? I'll be like, why they get booted? And sometimes, honestly, boots people for bullshit reasons. You do.
Well, hey, I got the power. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Nothing like a woman with power. I'm just saying.
He got he asked a question. I answered it. A couple minutes later, he asked it again. I answered again. I answered it 4 times, and then when he asked it the 5th, I booted him. I'm like, if you can't even be bothered to read one text up, then what are you doing here?
I can understand that. I can agree with that.
Then Todd let him in, and then he did something else stupid. Actually, the second time I booted him just for fun. I will admit that. I even told him.
Being a pain.
I'll be right back, guys.
I used to do that in IRC. I ran a small group of bots in different channels for some groups I was in. And there's certain people that would just get on my nerves, and we'd go back and forth in good humor. But I'd add them as a perm boot to the bot, but not a ban. So they'd rejoin it, boot them. They'd rejoin it, boot them. They'd just keep doing it over and over just to aggravate them.
It is fun. And it just gives you a little bit of pleasure.
Oh, yeah.
I'll admit that. But I don't boot for stupid reasons. I boot for annoying reasons.
You get annoyed. You can get annoyed a little quicker than I do.
Well, some people just have the good temperament. Others just don't deal with bullshit good.
I've done it for too long now. It's like, oh God, not another one of those. Yeah, Todd's a sweetheart.
What's up with this? Anyone want to cover bad or nefarious?
Nefarious Repo's my name.
Oh, Repo. Oh,
yeah. Cody, it sucks. Stay away.
Yeah, Cody L. Super Repo.
Yeah.
Any repos that are not linked to a particular add-on, but they list a whole lot of add-ons. I'm not a fan of that. There's even I've seen YouTubers do it. They'll say install my repo. Well, first of all, if you're doing a video on, let's say we're doing a video on death streams, I'm going to give you the death streams repo. That's the only repo I'm going to give you. I'm going to say, here you go, there's the repo, get it. I'm not going to put it on my repo and tell you to come to me to get it, because why do that? Why don't I just tell you where to get it from so it's one place? I understand they want to be like a all-in-one, but being everything to everybody is not the smart way to be, and we've seen that with issues where people take over repos and can push malicious updates, and that stuff can happen if a repo is not configured correctly.
Or the guy's just a dick that's running it.
Yeah. I mean, a repo has such ultimate power over most people's coding setup. Now, if you have a person that you're like, well, I have mine where I have to authorize every single update. Okay, well, then you're safe because you're going to get it. But 90% of the people have automatic updates. They don't even have to look at it. It just updates, and it updated.
Yep.
Power in a repo, and people don't understand. So basically, when I did my new build, I wiped every single repo, and I said, you know what? I'm going to install the repos that I care about, that I know that work.
And then, you know people. Yeah.
I know that guy. I know his add-ons. He's working. I know this one. I know that one. I didn't install none of this. Hey, it's got 50 video add-ons in there. Why? Why has he got 50 video add-ons? Does he work on all 50 of those? If he doesn't work,
exactly.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So that's something to watch for when you're looking at a repo. What content is it? Is it just their content? I will say some of those. There's some that are the Illuminati, or the Looking Glass, or even Nan has numerous, because there's certain add-ons that are in their camp.
Yep.
Well,
they're gonna have,
and they're mirrored, and it comes from that other. It loads that other person's actual repo for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not a super repo because they're not housed in, for example, Looking Glass, because I know they do it. Theirs isn't like a super repo. If you see, for example, because there for a while they were linked with mine, you seen Sports Hub in it because of that. It wasn't that they included Sports Hub in their repo. Their repo was linked to mine, so when you opened Looking Glass, it loaded Looking Glass and Tantrum repo.
Right.
Yeah.
So
well, see, and another issue too, guys, is if people are doing that with repos and you're nervous about it, if you're getting builds from people you don't know, there's another issue, because you know what? These people with these builds are loading these repos. So a good thing is to go in and have a look at what repos you have installed.
Yep.
And if you have a question, ask.
Exactly.
Anybody that's in this chat now, you can ask us. I mean, and if we're not familiar with the repo, we can look into it. It's no big deal. We know what to look for. And Blue, I know you're going to hate me for saying this, but that just gave me a thought. Why not have a source somewhere, and I can put it on my site. I don't care. I don't care who I take off. A site that is a list of repo, I guess you say qualifications or trustworthiness by name. And
why would I hate you for that?
Well, because I'm probably going to ask you to help. But this is just it would just be a running list.
It is a good idea.
Different repos with name, based on name and address. That way you can look in your source, know where it's coming from, things like that.
See, that was always an issue for me. I think somebody did do that a long time ago, but I don't even remember who it is. But I mean, to have a trustworthy source to go and look, because I don't know how many times I've said to people, "Oh, what's your repo again?" Because I can't remember them all.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you could say, "Well, this is where you go," and then they can go and they can pick and choose which ones they want.
Exactly, and they can see there what, at the very least, what our official thought is on that repo.
Exactly.
Good, bad, questionable.
I get asked a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've done several videos, and then I'll see people post comments on them that'll be like, well, that repo's always been good to me, and then the next thing you know, they push something out that completely bricks their box or something, or their setup.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? It's good for you? I know Cody L did that here about a week or two ago. They because I keep probably like 30 repos on my freaking dev install, just so I can keep an eye on that stuff. That tells you how much I want to keep up on it for people. And Cody L did an update to like 10 or 15 add-ons, something like that. It's an insane number, and they bumped them all one version, and even official Team Cody add-ons. And next thing you know, my dev install just went down. I couldn't do anything, and I know the same thing happened to Blammo too.
Yep.
He couldn't even load anything. Every time he go into something, he'd crash Cody.
So and Free World's another one, by the way. Ooh,
I forgot about that one.
That
IPTV one.
Oh my God.
That's another repo. Free
Yeah.
World?
Yeah. They pushed. They were all big into that stalker crap back in the IP days.
The weird thing is, Bubbles has a repo out there that just did the same thing. They are similar. Because I looked on my dev machine, because I was looking into something Bubbles because of some Blammo mentioned to me, and I looked at it, and this morning I now have 3 Bubble repositories where it's spamming just all kinds of crap to it.
Well, but they've always had 3, and they've always had 3. There was 3 repositories, and they would, I don't know if they spread the load, but Gaia did the same thing.
That makes no sense.
It installs 3 repos. It's Repo 1, Repo 2, Repo 3.
Yeah. Yep. And I was like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, exactly.
But,
What?
I mean, things like that, and that's what I meant on that list by having, good, bad, and questionable. Questionable would be use at your own risk. Bad be if you use this, you deserve to get smacked. Like that, having like a little typical Tantrum legend for the list. But yeah, I mean, I've noticed that on some of them, and I tell you what, I've supported Cerebro through some stuff. I'm starting to question his just because of the stuff he's been doing lately after I've seen Strictly HD show up on his. But I know he's, at least last time I had, he was trying to rebuild trust with everybody.
He still is.
So yeah, and my guess is he's just overextending himself and trying to do it in too many add-ons versus an add-on that has the different options.
I can tell you right now, though, Tantrum, Nick or Cerebro actually works with me on his repo. So when he's trying to update something, him and I look at what he's going to do with it. I can guarantee you his repo's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's one of those that's just trying to overextend stuff.
The Strictly HD, did he need to go that way? No, but for whatever reason he did it. That's his choice. But to trust his products, I've gone through everything with his products, is good. Do you need to add 3 other dependencies in there that it looks scary? Well, the way he set it up, it is.
Yeah, and I tell you what, let me check the chat real quick. There was someone, oh dear God, this is going to be scary. I got to look at my private chat with Blammo, just because of some of the pictures he sent me. There was someone that came to him about some of our sources and asked permission to use them. And just immediately for that, I mean, of course, we're not going to tell somebody no.
Trademark.
If they ask. But, it was Agent AK-47.
Right.
Asked if he could use some of them or use them to fix his. And simple fact that he asked. It's like, well, hell, yeah, fine. You can use them. And that just speaks volumes to me as far as that guy, both as a developer and his add-ons, and the repo that he keeps them in, because he wants to check and find out.
Yep.
He wants to know, and that's a good thing.
I'll give you major props for working on 3 completely independent add-ons, because you're working, like I said, Neptune, which is using the NAND scrapers built off of the Poseidon, off of Zen, wasn't that all that came from there? Then you're working on Death Streams, which is a Salts fork, working that's completely different engine, and now helping with Placenta, which is from the Covenant, completely different engine. Yeah. To me, it would be a bit confusing, but I will give props because each of the filters work different. Because when we talked to Mid about if you try to read Lambda's code, and I remember Mid saying it's a nightmare. He says,
Oh, yeah.
He says it's so confusing what he's writing. He
Well,
says, and things change. He goes, and he's using the same variable in different places. He says, and I'm so confused. And that was one of the reasons why he wrote Bob Unleashed, because he says, I can't continue to keep working on it because I don't know what everything is. So I will give you props for being able to jump project to project that you're working on, and those projects being completely independent. It's not like you're working on a Jen and a Bob. You know what I'm saying? Which are pretty close to the same thing. You're working on completely different engines.
Well, that's the nice thing about when okay, let me give you some background here, and it's kind of a neat story, but at the same time it's scary. Blammo and me got our first experience together over at Looking Glass, and you know, that was my first experience outside. Looking Glass was my first experience outside of YouTube add-ons when I built my template for that. And so I got introduced to death streams and the Salts Fork code then. And then, of course, he had left the group. He'd went his own separate way. And him and me stayed in contact because I was trying to learn Salts then to see if I could help him. And then one day we were in chat, just kind of cutting up, and that's when the whole, you know, you got Rebirth, Reborn, and all these different add-ons coming out of the Forks of Covenant, and we were making jokes about it, and A-Train made the comment, you know, you ought to do a fort, you just name it Placenta, following the whole Reborn and Rebirth theme. And it was a joke, you know. And then I shot off, you know, oh yeah, Placenta by Team Afterbirth, and it just kind of spread from there. It was all just a joke. I mean, Blammo put it on Twitter and Facebook, and it took off. People thought he was serious.
Well, Bob originally, I think when we were going to do Bob Unleashed, actually, Uranus was the vote originally. But then we're like, just think of all the stuff.
Oh my God, that would have been
all the stuff we would have heard, like Uranus is full of shit, or we would have heard all that fun stuff on on Twitter. And
well, the sad part is I came home from work one day, and I sat down. I'm like, you know what? Screw this. And as a joke, I just did an overlay for the artwork and did a mass rename and loaded it up, sent screenshots to Blammo and said, hey, check it out. And he lost it.
Guys, when you think about it, like, for the longest time, everybody was naming stuff after, like, mythology.
Yeah.
Yes, and just, it got where you couldn't keep them all straight. That's why we came up with Bob. There was nothing like Bob out there, because it sounds so stupid.
Yep, Neil and Bob. Yep.
Like, same thing with Placenta. It's so ridiculous that, you know what, people will remember it. Like,
exactly. Well, and the sad part, he's like, dude, have you fixed anything with it yet? I'm like, no. And then like 20 minutes later, I'm like, I just fixed this, this, and this. He's like, send that to me now. And so we got with Teverz, and we just threw it on the repo. It went from there.
You guys are using 3 different sets of scrapers then, right? You're using Assault spinoff, an Exodus spinoff, and Nan.
Yep.
What a freaking good idea, though.
And I mean, Death Streams is almost completely Blammo. Because he knows that code inside and out better than anybody I know.
Cool.
Then him and me collab on work for Neptune Rising and Placenta. So, and we both have different views on it because of our experience, which is great because, you know, there's times he sees something I don't and vice versa. So we're able, and the hilarious thing is if you look at the code, the only difference on the backside between Neptune Rising and Placenta is the scraping, because all the indexers and everything else are almost identical.
Yeah.
You know, so Poseidon's and all that is as far as currently, the current version is extremely close to what Covenant became. It's kind of neat because when I do a fix to Placenta, I can immediately check Neptune Rising. And with the compare plugin and Notepad++, and immediately see if we need to apply the fix there.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. I mean, it's great.
I mean, when you are maintaining a pile of different add-ons, you need to be able to work fast and, you know what I mean, and get a fix from one to the other, like especially if it's a major issue, like updating going from Cody 17 to 18, and now you've got fixes you got to make in order for it to work in that. You don't want to have to recode each of these add-ons individually if you can avoid it.
Okay, guys, I gotta stop us there. It's past 1, and I just got a call saying you're late. From one of my other wives. I do want to thank everybody for joining us. Butch, Blue, love you both, of course, you know. Yay.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, we got to do this again. I don't know about you, Tantrum. Are they invited back anytime?
Oh, anytime.
Yeah. You just want to, like, we Tantrum and I are going to do a show every week, as try to anyway. You want to come back and talk next week, you're all invited.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then.
We definitely want to try to keep it up, and these two are definitely invited anytime they want to be on here if they got something they want to cover. Or if they just want to, like, whisper it to us and then us go off on about it.
I like this format because, see, I don't have to worry about being as politically correct on this show.
Yeah. Well, that's a requirement.
Fair and honest. And
yeah, see, on ours, it's a requirement. We don't want you to be politically correct. So
Yeah.
And
I mean, you would never catch him drinking beer at noon on his own show.
Well, that just makes it a bonus there.
All right, guys. So thank you guys for joining us. You guys out there, thank you guys for watching us. We all appreciate that. Yay! And thanks for your comments. Hopefully we answered most of them for you. I know there's a couple we forgot. Has Echo Coder left the community? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let that one out there. And what about adding Telegram as a repo? I don't know what the heck that guy's on. I think that one's on crack, I guess. But other than that, guys, I'm going to shut us off. You guys, join us all next week. And, of course, us four will probably be in the chat room. You want to find us? We're in Telegram. All right, guys. Thanks very much for watching. You guys all have a great day. Bye-bye for now.